everybody, this is the Phantom Blader, and today's video is going to be quite a special one. So, what I'm doing today is essentially, I'm going to have two bays battling, of course, but whenever a bay loses, it has to trade over one of its parts with the opponent. So, essentially, the opponent gets to choose which part they want to get in order to enhance their bay to be better. Now, these are not completely like stock combos, but I think it will be interesting nonetheless to see how progressively these Beyblades change over time. So, let's start off with our first matchup here. So we have Death Phoenix and then Ray Kronos, which are obviously combos I randomly made, but nonetheless they'll suit the video pretty well. Okay, here we go. Oh, and it looks like Kronos is out, which means that Phoenix gets to take a part from him. So, obviously, we don't have like two people here, so I'm just going to pick for Phoenix what part he might want, and very likely the spin track might be the most desirable thing, because this is a pretty bulky defense type, so I'm fairly sure an opponent would likely want a smaller spin track in order to have a little bit better defense. Okay, got this one part, and now to reassemble everything else. Now, in terms of a trade, it would probably be the easiest to just trade tips if somebody wants a tip, so you could just like pop it off and then make it attach it to each other. Everything else just gets a little bit too convoluted. I think that's on securely. Well, we'll see. Anyway. So you can see how this entire system is going to work. I'm going to take a couple other bays and see how our combo here will change over time. Let's do this, which is L-Open scenario. So obviously I'm going to start with this guy first. You can see why the opponent would want like a lower spin track, because it gives an advantage over something as tall as this. And that's a win, so it means this Beyblade can take something from it. Now, looking at the current stats, I'd say that the opponent probably wouldn't really care too much to steal anything, so one thing they could just claim victory aesthetically is take something like the face pull. So it doesn't really impact gameplay too much, but nonetheless, if they can't find a really useful part, they can always just change like the face pull, since it doesn't really hurt, or they can just decline not to take any parts. So, see our next enemy. Oh boy, yeah, this is easily going to out. And already a knockout right there. Now with Gasher, there's nothing useful here. So the opponent would probably just pass on that. Now this is interesting. This might be like the first real test since the Scythe Fusion wheel is actually pretty hard to deal with. Let's see. Ooh. I do like the Sagittario face bolt on that. It looks aesthetically really nice. I wonder who's gonna make it. Wow, I expected Scythe Curvex to actually win, but oh, I guess he wasn't in spinning mode. I think I left it like that mostly because the stickers were starting to come off, but anyway. This is going to be really good demonstration because the one thing that this guy would want to trade is the tip. Because this is a much more superior tip. So by trading this, you can see in action how easy it is to just trade tips. Anyway, let's look at our next opponent. Very Aries. I'm going to do left spin on this one just to make it a little bit harder. Oh, oof. That battle is so violent. This is not a good stadium, so piece of plastic just fell off. Yeah, I probably need to get a better stadium, but again, this was a gift, so I'm trying to make do with it as much as I can. And hey, it's been working fantastic. I never even thought it would work this well, but once I started patching it up, it's probably been my most fun stadium so far compared to the other ones I've really done. I'm actually really thankful that I was able to use this stadium because I really love it. Anyway, let's see what we can take from Very Airy. Now, once again, he's probably going to want to go a little bit shorter because the wide defense, unfortunately, makes him just a tiny bit taller on the ground, so trading that with Very Aries. Fine. Now, some trade-offs can actually not be too disastrous, and in this case, I think that maybe trading the spin track could maybe do a little bit more good for Very Aries, especially if it wants to have more of a bit of an upper attack, so this was not really a bad loss too much, at least I'd say. Could be a lot worse things happening. Probably because these parts are getting pretty old now. Man. I feel like I'm an old man now that the new Beyblades have come in with Beyblade X. I still think Metal Fusion's better. But yeah, only time will tell. Anyway, so we have our combo here, and it's looking pretty nice actually. This actually would be a similar combo for Meteor El Drago that I would use, so not a bad combo. This might be the absolute peak of how well this dude's gonna do, but here we go. Okay, can I just acknowledge how funny, like, the word fang is? Not like the metal itself, obviously, but putting the name on anything, especially something that does not have fangs, it's just really funny. Anyway, ooh. And knocked out. Now, looking at this combination, I think while some of these parts do look tempting, I think the Beyblade has to pass, because if the opponent knows enough about a combination of wide defense mixed with this, it doesn't usually end well height-wise, so it's gonna skip out on that. Anyway, next we'll be facing Earth Pegasus. So here we go. Well. I believe this is the winner. Sorry if I wasn't necessarily looking. I think this... Yeah, this one won. But, looking at the stats, this is a very close call, because I think the tip is... It's really tempting, because this is a really good tip. And let's just say, for the sake of this, the opponent basically flips a coin to see whether they want to get this, since it would mean they'd compromise height, but at the same time, they'd have a lot more stamina. So, they would get... Don't be finicky, come on. There we go. It means it would have this special tip right here. And I'll be right back. Sorry for that. Had to cut the footage a little bit. Had to take care of something. Right. Yeah, that's still not on. Yeah, with this particular tip, you have to screw it on a certain way, and Anyway, so now with a new improvement, we can see how the Beyblade has evolved over time. So let's do Flash Orso, probably a combination you would have never thought about doing, but I was kind of mixing around some of these. So here we are. Oh, and for the first time, we got a win with Orso. Now, surprisingly, this is a really good combination, despite the fact that it's kind of random, but I guess it kind of makes sense because it has a good amount of stamina. So, in order to get a little bit more of an upper hand, Orso's biggest punishment is, well, I guess in this case, I'm gonna say, out of making the, or humiliating, like, the opponent, it's gonna take the, plastic ring. So, our once very much donned orange is now brown. And now Orso is now Phoenix. right there. So that was actually a definitive win. So you can see how most of the time, while this Beyblade had a lot of advantages, it seems it kind of lucked out this time. So you can see how by swapping parts like this during battles could make it very interesting. But I also think that in a sort of like tournament way, imagine if they did something like this where the combination you had at the end of the tournament was permanent. That would be pretty much a massive crushing blow. But it's a very interesting concept. Like, I think that this would make for really good entertainment. Especially, like, between two friends, trying to meet each other, and then maybe trying to get some of their parts back. It'd be kind of fun. Anyway. So next, we are going to probably go for another defeat. Meteor El Drago. As if this Beyblade wasn't humiliated enough already. No need for a launcher. Now this one is pretty close to the normal combo, except the spin track and the tip are a bit different. So this has a wide defense spin. Wide defense tip with somewhat of a small spin track. So it is absolutely eating up Death Orso. And El Drago wins with that little bit of extra spin. Now, in this case, El Drago really... It really can't take anything. The Dragon Lord's like, okay, bro, my combo's good enough. I'm just gonna let you off scot-free because you have that horrendous plastic ring. Okay. Our next opponent is Flame Tempo. This is actually surprisingly a fairly good combo. At least when maybe dealing with something like a lower Beyblade. But it did surprise me at some point because when testing it, it did defeat like I believe a 4D Beyblade. And it might be the case here as well. I think this was the exact... Oh, wait, oh, I think it just barely won, and you know what's going to be taken this time, the last part of its dignity, well, maybe not the last part, but the main thing that's been with us is completely stripped away. The opponent takes the death wheel, and now we go from Flame Tempo Death Tempo. Yeah, clocks could kill. This one would certainly make sure that your time is running out. Anyway, so let's put together this wall of shame with our pathetic loser here. Oh boy, here we go. Oh man, this poor dude. He was just trying to be the best. No one ever was. Ooh. See if he can redeem himself, possibly. Next, oh gosh, Shogun Steel. He's mincemeat. Or is he? Nope. And this time he actually gets an upper advantage. He could pick to get some metal, but it's like a double stack of metal, and it would only get basically like one half. But even if it got both parts, it's required to have this, so it's a massive risk to necessarily try to go for this. Especially since this is the only like Shogun steel Beyblade, so instead sees that since its current stature is not really that great, it takes this spin track. So that's part of the new Helio. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry. I had to stop the recording once again. Where were we? Oh yeah. So, we're swapping over this. And now our little buddy can have a little bit of a win this time. Yeah, look at that. Wow. See, it doesn't have the death metal anymore. But yeah, this is pretty good. And the opponent is actually probably not too mad with this combination because that spin track is not really the best for, well, you can probably imagine for an attack type like thing with this Beyblade. So yeah, it turned out to be beneficial. And for today's last opponent, though, we got El Drago. This is just stock El Drago because I really can't find any better combination for this. I mean, if you guys can share in the chat, what would be a better combination for Lightning El Drago, you can go ahead, but I think for the most part, I think this is just the best El Drago is going to be is its stock form. So, guess I kind of lied. There is like one stock Beyblade. So, we have Flame Orso versus El Drago. Let's see what will happen. Wow. Not doing too bad. Yeah. Whoa. Let's see who wins. El Drago loses against this combination. I think it's because of the spin track in combination with Flame Wheel. Just not really good stats for El Drago, as it's really hard to dig in under when you have a spin track like this, so yeah, it did really good. So, it gets to take apart from El Drago, and it decides, for the most part, in terms of its Beyblade, it's best to just go and claim the victory with the Face Bolt. So now Orso has the El Drago Face Bolt, and that is the final result of all these different combinations. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how this Beyblade has changed over time just from all these different battles. So, we can see, let me look at the timeline. So we started with this, and the spin track was taken. And this is the result of, like, this enemy. Next was the changing of the Face Bolt, which was next in the timeline. Then Cancer really was so bad that didn't even bother changing. So, next thing that was changed, I believe, tip changed from this to something a little bit smaller that I could use. And then you can see how the evolution kind of changed, where this used to be on like Kronos, but it traded out on Ares because it's a much better tactical move. And then this was traded from Kronos. But, of course, it ran into turmoil. Or I think at some point it passed this Beyblade as well. Don't remember quite when, but we have Orso here, who claimed the victory by taking the flame. Then El Drago took nothing. And then this opponent decided to take the Death fusion wheel. So, pretty crushing blow. And then it won a good victory against this Beyblade here. And then finally to our final round here. So, looking over the timeline, it started as well, it's not even recognizable anymore. Let me construct the original combo just to show you. So over the entire time period, this Beyblade has completely changed from what once it started. The ups and the downs. Alright, so this is how it started, and this is how it ended up. Now, shout out in the comments whether you think it started out better or whether it ended better as a Beyblade. Well, shoot, I might as well just do a battle, just to demonstrate and see whether which one is better. But you can still put in the comments which one you favor more over the other. Okay. I do like the whole look of that, especially like the faceplate. Oh, looks like something's not working out too well. Uh-oh. Yep. Looking at that result, especially starting with like the Death fusion wheel, this did not benefit this Beyblade too much to evolve into this. And I think it was losing the Death wheel that really, really impacted this Beyblade. So, yeah, that was today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.